Right, I'm pleased to have Steve Robinson, who I've down as consultant and non-executive, involved in quite a few different businesses. I'm sure he'll tell us what he's currently involved in the moment. But Steve is one of the advisory panel members for this year's 2020 Digital Retail Innovations Report. Kicking off then, Steve, what did you find, actually before that, what are you currently involved in? Which businesses would those be?
Yeah, so I'm chairman of a business called Channel Mum, which is a bit like a sort of video version of Mumsnet, Net Mums. And I work with Downing Ventures as a venture partner. But my main thing I do, I set a business up about 6 months ago called Omnicommerce, which is data analytics. So yeah, eclectic mix of stuff.
Good. Thanks, Steve. Right. Yeah. First question is, what did you think were the most interesting themes from this year's report?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you think about the themes, they're actually the common retail ones at the moment. So I was actually looked through the top sort of 10 or so, and there was a real common bundling around personalization. So DNA nudge ultimately is a personalization play. There's some automation in there, and how you save costs by using physical or automated technology. So the Amazon self-serve stores, and the Walmart is doing some stuff around robotics. There's sustainability, so the Ocado vertical farm and the lost stock play, and then you've got customer convenience, things like the Facebook shop, so you can shop within the Facebook app. So sort of personalization, automation, sustainability, and customer convenience. They've been around for the last few years, but they've certainly taken their place at the top.
And I think it was interesting how, and clearly there was no stake in COVID-19, but it was interesting how some of those businesses which already had a solution for one problem were able to utilize those assets and that pivot to use that well-worn phrase into the COVID-19 area and provide solutions to some problems in that.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that amazed me about this period is, I've worked in lots of organisations, both big and small business, like Tesco, and down to sort of VC and PE backed business. But even in the smaller businesses, things take a while to enact. And yet over this time period, you saw just such a rapid execution, whether it's new store processes or even some of these technical solutions that perhaps would have taken 12 months historically to get over the line with all of the stewardship around that. You suddenly saw businesses churning these out in weeks. And, I hope that's something that we as retailers don't forget, is that you can innovate safely and quickly if you put your mind to it, really.
Yeah. And I guess the second question, which you've specifically mentioned certain innovations there. Did any specific ones stand out for you this year?
Again, reflecting on it, the things that stood out were how some ideas that maybe people have had in the past can re-emerge, but with a new spin on it. Either maybe their time wasn't right the first time round, maybe they're ahead of their time. And we've seen that, look at Google. It wasn't the strongest or the first search engine, and it became the most dominant. And, when you look at, DNA nudge again, it's, we've had food allergy testing through people like Boots for years, but they've put their own advanced technical spin on it. You've got lost stock. There's jobbing's been around for as many years as stock has been, but they're cutting out the middleman and effectively jobbing direct. And even the WeChat group buying. We all remember Let's Buy It back, however many years ago that was. And so, you don't necessarily have to have a brand new idea. You just need to bring a new approach to it, or perhaps get your timing better.
Well, we've had in this year's RFID. I mean, RFID. How many years has that been around? And I'm pretty sure in the years we've been doing this report, it has appeared every year in some form or other as a fundamental underpinning of whatever new solution has come around. So,
well, look at QR codes. You go into a pub now and you scan your QR code. Yep. Most people thought QR codes were dead, and now you're scanning it every pub you go into. It's interesting.
And the top 10, I think we'd probably even extend that to the top 20 and beyond. but it includes some really big names like Amazon, Ocado, Walmart, and Facebook. But alongside them, there's a myriad small providers who most of us will never have heard of. I take that personally to be very healthy for retail and innovation. What's your take on that, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mention names. I thought there were some people who didn't respond so well that were big names with perhaps the big resources. So back to my point earlier on around, some people responded really well. I don't know if it's the quality of the management team or the leader, but there were definitely some examples out there that I thought quite disappointing, slow response to and there's others that were really, really quick. So I hats off to the sort of blue chip, more mature retailers who innovated over that time period. But you're right, it's in this new technological age of the level playing field. Really, it's no wonder that there's some new entrants that are making a difference.
I think the ones who didn't react very well probably know exactly who they are, and the ones who did react also equally know exactly who they are.
Well, in which case, I don't need to tell you they are then.
But I'm sure that's been reflected in the fact they've been successful over this period.
I don't think I'm going to be on the Christmas card list of any if I do mention them. So.